Welcome to the Career Management Podcast for Black women. Yes, this show is for you. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Anuha, also known as the Trill MBA. Why am I the Trill MBA? Because I'm going to keep it true and real with you about what it takes to make it in the workplace. Every week, we're going to empower you with the tips, tricks, and tactics that you need, not just to survive at work, but to thrive at work. Whether you're aiming for that promotion or you really have some crazy workplace stuff going on, it's gonna be okay. We've got you covered. Love our content? Subscribe, like, comment, and let us know what workplace dilemma you're going through. We want to go on this journey with you, and we want to see you win. That's why I started this show. Now, in today's episode, we are dropping gems to help you level up your career with confidence. Now, let's start the show. Hey guys, I am so excited that you came back today because today we're going to talk about something that you desperately probably need to do. And the reason why I believe this is because I have a listener letter here that I want to share with you. So this listener writes, "Dear Felicia, I'm writing to you as a mid-career professional in the finance industry. I've been working as a financial analyst for the past 12 years. I'm sorry. Put a pin in that. And I'm starting to feel incredibly burned out. The constant pressure to meet tight deadlines, coupled with the high-stakes nature of financial decisions, has left me exhausted and questioning my future in this field." Girl, 12 years. Okay, we're going to talk about it. "What's more concerning is that my career seems to have plateaued." You think? "Despite my dedication and hard work, I've been in the same role for over a decade with little to no advancement. This lack of progression is demoralizing and has contributed significantly to my current state of burnout." She goes on to say, "I've been contemplating taking a career break to reevaluate my priorities and regain my passion for my work." Amen. "However, the current job market being so uncertain, I'm terrified about making this leap. Some of my colleagues have managed to find new roles quickly after a break, while others have struggled for months. The fear of not finding a job again is making me second guess my decision. I've always been a high achiever." Girl, we know. "And the thought of stepping away from my career, even temporarily, feels daunting. Yet I can't ignore the signs of burnout any longer. I'm at a crossroads and need advice on whether taking a career break is the right move for me. Additionally, I'm curious to hear from others who have taken longer breaks. How did it impact your career? Did you face any challenges when re-entering the workforce? Do you regret taking the break? Or did it help you come back stronger and more motivated? Looking forward to hearing your insights and advice on this important topic. Sincerely, a stagnant and burned out financial analyst." Girl, listen, burned out. We got you, okay? First of all, I am proud of you for even considering yourself first. That is what you did, even by writing this letter and thinking this through. So I want you to give yourself all the love and all the grace because you're on the right path. And we're going to talk about this 12 years because we got to talk about that. But I want to address first all of your questions about career breaks. And today I have the career break expert who wrote this wonderful resource for all of you guys considering taking a career break. It's called Taking a Career Break for Dummies. I'm so excited that I have the author of this book in studio today because, you know, that's how I flex. But she's also a friend. So Katrina McGhee, welcome to the show.
Wow, I'm so excited to be here. What? This is so fun. Oh my gosh, we're doing this in person. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
And we haven't seen each other in person in years because, you know.
So many years?
Pandemic.
Yeah, so many years. Like a long time.
But I'm so glad to see you. And I'm glad you stopped by the studio because I had this listener letter. And I really wanted to make sure that I didn't just give my opinion, but I got expert advice for you guys, because it's very important that we take care of ourselves. And one thing Katrina has been driving home to people is that you can do this. You can take a break. You can take care of yourself. You can put yourself first. And in a society that tells us you need to do all these things and you need to be successful, and there's all these you should by age, we get lost in the sauce. And I think that's what's happened to our listener here. So I'm so excited to have you. And to kick it off, what advice do you have for our financial analyst that's stagnant and burnt out?
I know. Well, I mean, first of all, the poor letter writer, I was going through a lot. There's a lot of layers to like what was in that letter. But I think, you know, at the surface level, they know they need a break.
Yes.
But there's a lot of fear and uncertainty around how do I give myself time off to recover and to heal.
Right.
And to me, it's so crazy that we live in a time where knowing that you need a break is not enough to like find out and figure out how to take a break. But it's like sitting in the questioning of, can I really do this? Should I just keep working? Is it a me problem? Is there some other solution where I just work a little bit less hard, burnt out, and I just will get to where I want to go? Like, no, if you have a broken leg, you're going to go to the doctor, you're going to get the cast, you're going to get the leg reset, and then you're going to have to like take care of that leg and be on crutches and not use it every single day. You're going to have to take a freaking break, right?
Right.
Professional athletes take breaks, not only to prevent injury, but actually to enhance performance. So, you know, I talk a lot about this in the book, but taking a break is not just about, I'm burnt out, I couldn't hack it, I need some time. That's a valid enough reason by itself. Like, I'm burnt out, I need a break. Humans were not meant to run at the pace we're running at, like forever, endlessly on a loop. But also, a break is a portal into a completely new reality of life where you prioritize your well-being and where you come back more clear, more motivated, and stronger than you left, right? Before the break. And so it's not just about getting back to normal. It's about opening the door to an upgrade in life where when you come back to life, like normal is something you've kissed goodbye. Like, I no longer settle for life. That's just cranking it on the hamster wheel, right?
Right. Do you feel like, let's say she decides to take a break, just thinking that, oh, well, I'm going to take a break and then I'm just going to get another financial analyst job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot to say on that for the 12 years, but
yes, we'll get to that. But from a career break standpoint, what type of intentionality should someone have when they're thinking about taking a break?
Yeah. Well, I see with a lot of my clients, so to date, I'm at 96 breaks supported. So I know a lot about this. Yeah. I've taken 2 of my own and like helped a lot of people do it. You really don't truly know what's in store at the end of a break, especially if your break is going to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, right? You're going to change. And that healed, more inspired, more clarity having, and just really excited and like motivated version of you is going to have different ideas about what you can do on a break. And what I also see is when you're intentional about this time, you're able to create a break where opportunities find you. It might be through connections. It might be that you decided to take a pottery class and you meet a person in that pottery class. I have a client that took a sabbatical and she ended up going to pottery for the first time ever in her adult life because she'd always felt like this desire to just like play with clay and like use her hands and try it out. And flash forward like 18 months later, she was tapped to teach like beginner classes.
Oh, wow.
For doing pottery. And it's like a community for her, right? And not that she's going to become like a full-time like sculpture artist or anything like that, but different parts of herself are unlocked and new opportunities and new ways to make income and new networks are built. So know that like you can always go back to the life that you left behind. You definitely can like slide right in. I've seen a few of my clients go back to something really similar, but really what's going to happen is you're just going to open a door to a lot more opportunities. And as you get more clear, you're going to also reevaluate what is alignment for me in this stage of my life, because maybe what I had before is actually taking away something from my life instead of putting something back in, right? And so who am I today? What do I want? And as you go through a break, you discover more and more of that truth because you're not just focused on what everyone else around you is doing.
Right.
When you're on the hamster wheel, you're looking at all the other hamsters.
Right.
Like, am I fast enough? Am I going in the right direction? Like, what are the other hamsters doing? Right? When you let go of that, you really get to go inside and figure out, like, what do I need and what do I want for my life? And I think that opens possibilities to new realities once the break is over.
That's a whole word. That right there, that's such a nugget, because I don't know if you saw this article recently that's going around, but basically because Black women are stressed out and we're chronically stressed. So it's not like these intermittent stresses, this like daily, ongoing, continuous stress. We have more autoimmune diseases.
I saw the headline for that article, but I didn't read it. Yeah.
And it's short, like scan it real quick. But basically, in a nutshell, things that we know, like you're wondering why your back is hurting, your neck is hurting. You're wondering why weird things are happening to your body. Like, you got to get honest about those things. If I could call this person, I'd be like, so tell me about your medical things that you have going on. And I guarantee you they would have shit going on, either headaches.
I have a client right now who is coming off the end of, let's say, a 1-year break and going into it like high blood pressure, I think for years, like really high levels. Medication wasn't enough to like eradicate the problem. And I think it was about 4 months into the break, blood pressure back to normal. Black woman, blood pressure back to normal, and working on other health issues. But it was really clarifying for her to see how it was a toxic work environment, right? How this negative environment was taking even more from her than she realized. Yeah. And that it was this sort of like low grade, constant sort of trigger for health issues that she had. And it was like the medicine wasn't working. Like, what worked is removing herself from that. And it wasn't just leaving the toxic work environment. It was taking a break. It was like giving yourself space to heal and to like fulfill your own needs and desires.
Exactly. And so it is detrimental to you if you don't take this break. Okay? Like, literally, you are probably in this role for 12 years. You've been in this role. You've been working at this role. I don't know if you've been at the same company or not. Either way, you know you're stagnant. And the only way to really break free from that is to break.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be this way. And your feeling of stagnancy is not a reflection of your ability. It's probably likely a mix of your environment, like the place that you are, and maybe honestly, even your beliefs about what is possible for you based on past experiences that you've had. But first, you have to take care of yourself. I want to make it so clear, even for those of us that make a lot of money in like a corporate job, the money's not free, and it's not just our time. It's actually parts of ourselves that we give away in exchange. And at some point you have to ask yourself, like, is my whole well-being worth the money I'm making? Is it worth any real dollar amount? Like, sacrificing not just my time, but like myself, is that worth it? Because that money is not like just given to you. And I see people say, well, I don't want to give up the money. Well, what are you taking back? Right? What are you taking back? And it's just like, what is your life if you never took a break? Probably more health issues on more health issues until you've just broken down, and then you don't get to choose your break. You have to take it, and you have to spend a lot longer on it to try to repair all the damage that you could have easily, worked on 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Exactly. Like, because some people, their break is being hospitalized.
I'm not kidding. That is so true. It takes a medical crisis.
Yeah. And we don't want that for y'all.
No.
So we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we're going to talk about some of the myths and even answer the question about what success is. And we're going to talk about if there's any failures. Katrina's going to walk me through if there were failures and why it failed when we come back from this break. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. I really appreciate it. I have some free career tools for you. All you have to do is go to trilliumba.com/freebies. That's trilliumba.com/freebies. And I have all kinds of tools that I'm building and I have built with guides and worksheets and workbooks to help you manage your career, because you have the control. You can get that promotion if you want it. You can make those relationships even if it feels uncomfortable. I have all the tips, tricks, and tactics that you need to not just survive, but thrive in the workplace. So go to trilliumba.com/freebies and get your free tools. They're there for you. Please take them. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, we're back from the break. We are here with career break guru, Katrina McGhee, also a Trill MBA in her own right, because that's who I hang with, the Trillist people. And we're just being real about what it means to take a career break. Actually, we're being real about what it means when you don't take a career break. Because when you don't take these breaks, you're literally killing yourself, like from the inside. So when you know you're burnt out, this is the thing that you just have to do for yourself. And here's the thing, Katrina, I know somebody is going to listen to this episode and they are going to get their stuff together. They're going to get the book. They're going to contact you. They're going to get it together and they're going to just make their life so much happier.
So much happier. I wish I had like a crystal ball, because I feel like one of the places people get stuck is not being able to envision what better actually means. Mm-hmm. It's like it feels so far away and so vague, and they can't really, it's just like a slight bit better than what I have now. I have a client that DM'd me the other day. During her break, during like really epic COVID times, right? Yes. She moved from Texas to Seattle, relocated, right? Mm-hmm. Like moved away from her family, just fulfilled a dream. She didn't even know why, like just to go be in the Pacific Northwest. Moved out there, finished her break, started a third career, like a whole different career. Wrote me to say that she loves her job. She was having her baby shower. She found her person. She got married. She's pregnant. She's having a baby in 6 weeks, and she still loves her job. And it's like, you know, she did the work, right? We worked together, but she really showed up for her life. And I'm just so proud of her for that. But it's like, I could have never explained how much was at stake if she was just staying in the place that no longer served her, right? And staying in a job that she really hated and that felt like it was taking a piece of her every day. Life could be so much better. And it's hard sometimes to know what better is, especially if you feel like you're in it. But, you know, I have a lot of anecdotes in the book and examples of what better can look like. But it's important to know you can have a life that is not only tolerable, but that even when life is really hard, still gets you excited, still makes you feel like, man, I am so fortunate to have these opportunities and I am out there creating the life that I want. And I think that's something, you know, I see a lot of people give up their power and just sort of settle for what's given to them.
I have a question for myself.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best ones.
Am I on a career break? I don't know. I'm not looking for a job anymore. I'm tired. But I got bills, so I'm stressing, right? But I kind of just know I'm going to figure it out. But something that you just said that resonated with me was she figured out how to show up for herself. Can you expound on that? What does it mean to show up for yourself? Because I have been struggling with that because I don't know if I have defined it to understand what that means. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's a great place to start, is understanding, like, what is the North Star of showing up for myself, right? So when I worked with her, we talked about what is the purpose statement for the break and what are the 3 to 4 themes of what this break is about, right? So for you, even if your break is a hybrid, because I wouldn't call it like a true career break because you're working very hard, but you also have a lot of freedom and, you know, you can play with those levels. But, you know, even in your circumstance, it's like, what is the purpose of this time now? And what are the 3 to 4 bigger ideas of what I want to focus on? So, you have to be able to articulate that to know where to pour your energy, right? And it might be like one of your 3 themes might be your well-being or wellness, right? You might just feel like I'm still recovering from what I've been through, and I just want to like get my health to a place where I feel like really strong and I have a lot of energy, for example, right? But you want to know what those are. And once you know what those are, it's about every day, am I showing up to put at least a penny or a dime in the bank to start drawing interest, right? Like you're trying to make those deposits.
Okay.
Right? So you're trying to put a little bit of effort. Some days it's a lot of effort. Some days just not quitting is the effort.
Yes.
But you just want to like keep, putting a little in day after day. And then you're going to start drawing interest. You're going to start having good things like come to you. Opportunities will start to like snowball, and it will be really great. But I would say, at a higher level, what does it mean to start showing up for yourself and really even know how to do that? It's about not muting your desire. So we get so good in our corporate lives when our voice is like, I'm really tired. I can't do this. Don't make me do it. No, I'm going. I've got this thing due. I'm doing it. Right? Or it's like, oh my God, I really don't want to travel all the way across the country to go to this person's thing, but I said I would do it. And then I've got to come back and I've got to do work stuff. And then all these people are expecting, this from me.
Right.
And it's like, we just keep muting. It's like the part of us that doesn't want to do something or that's craving something different. It's like, shh, not convenient. Shh, not convenient. And it gets pushed down to this little tiny place where we don't hear it anymore. And it's like, the faintest whisper. And so from that place, you have to start practicing being connected to what you need, because how are you going to show up for yourself if you're not even really honest or fully connected to what it is that you need? So there's a really simple activity. I would say you should try it. And, like if you're listening to this, like, please give it a try. I love it. I give it to all my clients, but it's called white space. And so you proactively set time on your calendar. I recommend 1 to 4 hours, depending on what kind of time you're working with. Set time on your calendar, a couple days in advance, 2 weeks in advance, whatever you can do. And when you arrive to that white space on your calendar, that break, that glimmer, right? That break in the clouds, do not concern yourself with administrative things. Do not concern yourself with personal things of people that you're supposed to call back. This is a time where you have one job for that whole hour to 4 hours. You ask yourself one simple question over and over again, which is, what do I need right now? So it might start with you saying at 11 a.m. on a Thursday, what do I need right now? And you might look at the laundry pile. You might think about all the things you could do, but that's not what we're talking about. You go in and you're like, I am really freaking thirsty. Go to the kitchen, get something to drink it. When you've satisfied that need, what do I need right now? Oh my God, I want some sunshine. It's a beautiful day. I want to just go sit on the porch for like 10 minutes and just breathe. Go do that. When you finish that, what do I need right now? And you just keep going through that block of time. And that is a great way to practice mind-body connection, where you're actually practicing like getting back in touch with that voice inside of you that's trying to speak to you about what you want and need. And so something as simple as that can help you start to hear the voice that's like telling you what it wants you to do to show up for yourself. But I think that you are showing up for yourself. I mean, you're taking a lot of risk. You're investing a lot of yourself into this dream. So I think for you, my guess is that maybe if there is an aspect of showing up, I would add in, it's just a crap load of self-compassion and appreciation and celebration for what you're doing, so that you can feel the goodness of the showing up and not feel like somehow you're still falling short.
Yeah, because I do this not for me. Like, this show is for you guys, because there's just a deep passion for people not to go through what I've been through. I felt it was so bad. And I actually can't understand, like, is it really so bad, or was it me? But then I hear all these stories and people needing breaks and working as a financial analyst for 12 years, but never getting promoted. Like, what are we talking about? Like, something happened there. You're in the corporate world. Not saying everybody aspires to be the CEO, but at least a manager, right? Making more money or something. But I understand how people get sidelined and the circumstances year after year, or you're given certain feedback, and then it's like all this, it piles on and it affects you, mentally and physically and emotionally. And for me, I just know that we have better ways. Like, we can take career breaks. We can eat better food. We can go get sunshine and exercise. We can drink more water. We can mind our business, right? So there are things we can do. There are things we can do in the workplace that at the point of time when we're not self-caring and caring for ourselves, then there are tricks and tactics that you use at work, building relationships to better understand the business and the business need, you know, going in and doing that work, how you have this purpose statement for your career break. You should also have a purpose statement for the work you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that something you work with your clients with?
Yeah.
About?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Right. So going into a break, it's all about the purpose statement for the break so that you know what success means to you before you start. Because if you know what success is, you can engineer with that end in mind versus just going in blind and hoping for the best. But then as the break ends, you know, I highly suggest if you are thinking about a break or if you're on a break now, set aside time for a re-entry period. So you want a buffer between when you're shifting out of break mode mentally and when you're actually like hitting that ground running and trying to like, you know, do all the things, all the interviews and stuff. You want time to go through those stages and not feel desperate.
Yes.
And to also have clarity on what you want. So for that, I think setting a purpose statement for that next chapter. What is finding a job really about for me? Because for me, what was true at the end of my first break, which was a 20-month break. So it was like a long time. Yeah. And I only had 3 years of corporate experience. I mean, corporate experience as a market researcher. I had a whole past career as an actuary before that, pre-business school. But, you know, I had no reason to believe that it would be fast for me to find a job. So one of the things I did is I got really grounded in why am I going back? Because honestly, in my soul, in my spirit, I did not want to go back to corporate. But I looked at my bank account and it was like close to zero because I'd been traveling around the world for 20 months. But also I had debt from business school. And I was looking at that and saying, I want to be free. I would love to do my own thing. But realistically, I know how to make money through a company. I can get a job, you know, pretty quickly doing that. That's my fastest way to financial freedom. Knowing that made it so much easier to go back to work and to look for jobs and to be clear for the jobs I was going to like apply for, why I was applying for them, which jobs I'm saying no to. So my purpose statement at that time was, I am trying to buy my freedom. And I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm not compromising my soul, my spirit, and my well-being to do it. So yes, I went back to corporate, but I worked for a company that was like very aligned to what my values are as a person. It was a smaller company and I really loved the work that I did. And so I didn't really want to be in corporate, but given that I was going to be, it was a great opportunity. In fact, it was a dream job at that time. And I landed 5 job offers in just 5 weeks after the 20-month break. Partly because of the clarity about what I was really looking for and what my non-negotiables were as far as like what I'm showing up for, what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not.
Yeah. You trust yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's key. I think a lot of us we think we trust ourselves, but we still second guess ourselves. I know I do that. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to be honest about that. Like, I question the decisions I've made and I try to be very intuition led, which also makes corporate hard for me. I'm not really data driven. Like, the data will say one thing and I'm like, something's telling me. And then I have to like reverse engineer my intuition, and I have to go look for data that supports what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because I just want to go because I know. When I know, I know. I think this moment in my life, this time in my life, when I'm exploring something new and trying to listen to that thing that says, I don't want to go back to a corporate job. I have hated it. It has been the bane of my existence. I've been depressed. Like, my soul feels crushed. Why do you keep doing this? Right? And then the half Nigerian Capricorn is like, bitch, we need money. Like, what are you talking about? Like, get over yourself. Go get these checks. And it's like, the checks doesn't, at this point in my life, that practicalness, it's not even worth it to me now. And I'm not telling anybody, please don't go quit your job. Please don't quit your job. Like, get the book, call Katrina, make a plan it out. Like, I'm never going to tell anybody to not do.
I mean, I planned yes. for, almost 2 years to take my break, and I saved for 18 months. So yeah.
No, plan this stuff. I think for me, I had a plan. The plan got derailed when I got laid off.
Yep. And that's okay. I mean, that happens to a lot of my clients too, is that they either have a snap moment where they didn't have it in their plan, but they are just like, one day they're like, I'm done. Like, I'm out, like gone. Or, like loss of a family member or a partner or being laid off, but some type of loss facilitates them like having to step away from the, hustle of the career stuff for an indefinite period of time.
Right. So has there been a break that went wrong?
That's such an interesting question. And I hate that my answer is going to sound like fake.
But I say wrong in quotes because I don't really believe that.
Yeah, well, exactly. But I would say I have a biased set of people, because if you're planning a break, you're prepared for what could go wrong. Like, that's part of the plan. We don't get really prescriptive about your itinerary. We get very prescriptive about a structure for that reason, because life will life. My brother was my favorite person, and he was 3 years younger than me, and he died a week before my break started. So like, I know all about like, what the hell? This is not the experience I signed up for. Like, what the hell is happening? Like, doubting, like, is this really what I want to do? I've had other clients who've lost family members during a break. Like, that's actually happened, twice. And then other things happen. Sometimes good surprises, sometimes, bad surprises.
Sometimes you meet your person.
Exactly. No, but sometimes you do. And so I think at the end of the day, right, to your point, there's no really like, like it just goes wrong.
Right.
But I find that the people that I work with have put thought in. Even if they find me in the middle or towards the end of a break, we go back in time and look at the break as if they are exactly where they need to be. As if, even though they don't like the current circumstance, that was the right decision.
Right.
And to you, I would say as well, we don't have actual facts that say any decision is right or wrong. No. Because it's all like butterfly effect. You could have done something differently and gone out one day and gotten hit by a bus. And it's like, and your life ends. And tomorrow, like somebody could pick up this podcast and share it with the world, and like people could be interviewing you talking about like, this is really critical and you're helping so many people. I mean, it's just like everything changes so quickly for better, for worse. So all that to say, this is a little life coachy, but as a certified life coach, sometimes I get like that.
No, please coach us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all in what you decide. Truly. I mean, it sounds so, again, hokey, but it's all in what you decide. Example, my brother is now not here living. I'm facing a break. I can be angry.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me, God? This is just one more thing that you do to me, universe, where it's like, I've worked so hard. I've given up so much. I was doing the right thing, and I was being brave, and then I get punished. Like, F this, right? That is totally valid. I could feel that way. But instead, you get to choose the better thought. You get to choose the thought that makes you feel better. And the thought that made me feel better was like, holy shit. I am standing in the worst moment of my adult life, probably for the rest of my life. And I have $40,000. I've already quit my job. I don't have to worry about when do I quit? How do I quit? Whatever. I have a plan for what I could do. And I am like, I have created unknowingly the only circumstance that will help me navigate this massive loss without swimming into like some level of depression I may never recover from.
Right.
And to that I say, well, if this crappy thing was going to happen and I had no control over that, this is the absolute best circumstance for me to be facing. Like, this is the best place to have landed, because now I have a good 1 to 2 years to figure things out, to heal, to be sad, to cry every day, and not have to pretend I give a crap about my presentation that's due or, the emails or whatever. And so I found this connection to like, life is always going to life. And when I am doing the things that I am meant to do and that I want to do, even if they don't work out the way I thought, I showed up for my life and I did the best I could. And the universe will meet me halfway, even if it doesn't look like how I envisioned.
God bless you. You have no idea. Every time I talk to you, I like feel better about life. And I hope you guys feel better about life too. We're going to take one more break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the most important thing that this listener needs to know about taking her break. Because I hope when you listen to this episode, you stand 10 toes down on your break when we get back. Most important thing. We are back. We're about to wrap this show about career breaks with our expert on career breaks, Katrina McGhee. Thank you so much for being here. So now, for this listener who is thinking about taking a career break, so I want them to know, take a career break, but they have a couple concerns. So the first thing is about this job market, which it does seem kind of scary. I think, especially someone who's so seasoned and has so many years of experience, what I'm finding is that the market is tight for people who should be getting higher level jobs. And the market is also hard for like the newbies that are just out of undergrad. It's hard. But like once you have a year or two of experience until you have about 8 years of experience, you kind of can move around. So for this person who has like over 12 years of experience, what advice do you have for them? Yeah.
Well, I mean, one is really tactical and one is mindset. Tactically speaking, if you're really worried about it, and yes, like the job market does feel different than it has been, in the past few years, you can integrate that into your break. You can make one of your themes being an up level in your career attractiveness, right? Your employability. So you can take courses, you can get a certification. I have a client that did a fellowship and was in New York and came out to California for 3 months to do a fellowship. And not only did the fellowship in this he was in like clean energy and just environmental sustainability space, but not only did that fellowship open doors from like what he learned, his network in that space exploded. And so he was able to go back to his industry, but pivot slightly and become like really kind of get some momentum and become more qualified for the kinds of jobs or the role specifically that he wanted. So you can plan for that in advance. You can incorporate that and figure out, is it investing in networking? Is it going to conferences? But if you're really worried about it, like use it as a time to up level, upskill, and really just, enhance your portfolio of experience. Maybe you're doing a website, maybe you're launching a side business for income, as a contractor, and starting something where you're going to work with companies, but through your own thing. So there are lots of ways you can incorporate it. But at a higher level, mindset wise, I just want to remind you, we are not fortune tellers, and there is always a very good reason not to take a break. So, I had a client that wanted to travel to Europe. That was her dream for her break. And Russia invaded Ukraine right before it happened. And in the beginning, it was like, is this World War III? And so she's like, well, what am I going to do now? You know what I mean? And then for some of my clients, they were on a break or about to take a break when COVID descended and shut everything down, and travel was part of their break. Everybody that I've worked with has found a way to make their break incredibly meaningful and to like be a zero regret type of experience. But all that to say, there's always going to be a good reason, and there's always going to be something to be afraid of. And if it's not global or if it's not external, right? Like the job market, it's going to be you. It's going to be like, oh, it's my health, or oh, it's my health insurance, or oh, it's my parent who might need me to care for. Like, we just can't predict the future. So to that, I say, please don't wait to make your life better. Please don't wait to invest in your well-being. You don't have to wait for that. It's never going to feel like the right time. You just want to be smart and make a good decision as far as like, I have planned for the obstacles and I'm willing to show up. And you might find that you take the exact perfect break, because maybe when you leave, the market is crap. And maybe when you come back, there's momentum again. And it's like you just kind of slide right in there. I had a client, just really quickly, I'll share. I had a client that, took a break last year, and his break was about 4 or 5 months long. Going into the break, he ended up kind of spontaneously quitting his company because he did not agree with some shady things going on. Understandable.
Save yourself.
Yeah, right, exactly. Understandable. He applied to like 40 jobs and wasn't getting any interviews. And he's a really qualified candidate. He decided to lean into the space and take a break. So he took a 4 to 5 month break. We did like a planning intensive, mapped it out. He went on his break. At the end of his break, he took a trip to New York and he just fully committed to like a hardcore 1 or 2 weeks of networking and just talking to people and getting his resume out there. And he ended that week with 2 leads, making it to like final interview rounds. And he accepted a job that he says is the job he has been the most excited to accept. He hopes to retire from it. Oh. He relocated, like he's there now. It pays a lot more money and he's really happy with it. And so
is he single?
He prefers dudes. He prefers dudes, but
of course,
you know,
of course.
Yeah, but you know, it's like amazing, but he didn't know exactly what was going to be waiting. But I also think there's something to having energy and belief around your break and owning it. So if you're going to take a break, own it. Don't be half in, half out, looking for LinkedIn jobs while you say you're on a break and trying to like keep your network super warm because you're paranoid about when you come back. Like, really disconnect for at least a few months. Give yourself that space, and a better, stronger, more recharged version of you will emerge that can really find those opportunities and speak to your break with a confidence like, oh yeah, I took a break. Ask me about it. Ask me about how I took this trip or did this thing or upskilled in this way and how I'm a better candidate. Because every other hamster interviewing for this job is burnt out just like I was. We all have the same experience. We all have the same expertise, but I went and took care of myself. I'm courageous. I'm brave. I stand on business. And like, here I am. So yes, I will work for you. I would do that. Right?
That I'm ready to hire you.
There you go. There you go.
That's amazing. Yeah, I never thought about that. Like the story you tell about your break, because you know, in my mind, it's like I'm just not gonna say I took a break, or I'm gonna lie about it or something. I don't know, just make up something. But honestly, it is a very positive thing to say. I take care of myself, and if I take care of me, how am I going to take care of you?
100%. The message is I will do whatever it takes to be the best I can be, even if it means doing something unconventional and scary and facing uncertainty. Got that, right?
Damn, that's good. So what's the most important thing you want people to know about taking a career break?
Well, I mean, there's 45 things, but I'll try a lot of things. I'm going to say 2. The first one I'm going to say is that when it comes to affording a break, I hear a lot, people say a lot, like, I just can't afford to take a break. I couldn't afford it. And they dismiss it. And I want to offer the perspective that it's about investing in your well-being. So don't think of it as an expense. Think of it as an investment. It might take you years. It took me almost 2 years, right, of saving to make it happen. So I'm not saying it will happen right away, but I find a lot of people can actually, air quotes, afford to take the break, but they don't think that they can.
Right.
Think about how much you spend on a car, how much you invest in your home, how much if you own your home when you're renovating your home. Think about your, you know, potentially your children's education. Think about, you know, like your wardrobe. Like there are things where you're investing thousands of dollars because it matters to you or because you think it matters to you.
Right.
This is your well-being. This is your one precious life.
Right.
It is a portal and a gateway to a better personal and professional life.
Right.
Right? That's huge. So when you think about, can I afford it? I want you to really think about, A, can I afford not to take one? What is it costing me to not? And B, if I'm viewing it as an investment, can I create, right, the way forward where I can put aside money or create a second stream of income to be able to afford this someday soon? But at the highest level of all, what I want you to know is that you don't have to earn the right to take a break through suffering. There's no amount of suffering that you have to do to have permission to just decide you're done. Like, you get to take a break because you are the boss of your life, and you deserve a break because you're a human being, not a human doing. And essentially, like, that's it. That's all that you need to say.
You deserve a break. If there's nothing else you take away from our time today, is that if you need a break, you deserve it, no matter what. No matter how you feel about it, no matter what people say, no matter what negative Nancy thoughts are in your head based on the crap that you're carrying around, because we're all carrying around crap. You deserve a break. You deserve rest. You really, really do. And I know you may feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but it doesn't have to be. Like, this is a choice, and you deserve to make the choice of you. Katrina, thank you so much for coming today. I know we squeeze this time
We
in.
did. I'm heading to the airport, but this was so worth it. And I'm so glad that we can make it happen.
Yeah. Tell the people where to find you, where to get your book.
Yeah. So you can get my book where all books live, pretty much. You can find it on Amazon. It's also in Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
So I went and signed a copy in Studio City the other day. So if you happen to be listening to this and you live somewhere near Studio City, you can find like a little gold sealed signed copy.
Nice.
Yeah. But, you can also find me on LinkedIn. I show up there. And I also have a list of 45 things to do on a break, just because I know people struggle with trying to envision what it could look like or what would I do at this time. So if you want that, just find me on LinkedIn, ask me about it. I'll send it to you.
Nice. And if you want to be coached through a career break, how do we hire you?
Yes. Just send me a message. Tell me what you're struggling with. Like, hey girl, I heard you on a Trill MBA and I really like what you said. And I want to know more about this. Like, can you tell me more about this? And we can absolutely, talk about it. I'm launching a community this fall. That's going to be a really accessible way for people to find community with other career breakers and sabbatical takers.
Nice.
So if, you connect with me, you send me a message, I'll figure out like, is it one-on-one coaching? Maybe you get a special invitation to the first wave of the community, but I will definitely help you in whatever way I can, because this is my personal mission.
I love that. You're doing great. I know this entrepreneurship and like passion work
I know it's
is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But you've not only impacted my life positively, but also so many of my friends that are burnt out and needed to take breaks, and they're so much happier now on the other side. So I've seen the results of working with you. So guys, I 100% recommend you reach out to Katrina. She's amazing. She's just going to pour into you. And by God's grace, we ask God to keep you safe and continue on this mission to help the world heal themselves through career breaks, because that's what we need. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this show. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Katrina, so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Well, guys, that's a wrap on another great episode of the Career Management Podcast for Black women. Yes, girl, this show is just for you. We're here to tell you how to play that chessboard at work, girl. So subscribe, comment, like, follow us on social media at Trill MBA Show. Listen, every time you tell one of your friends, you share this information, you share this podcast, it helps us to grow and make even more dope content just for you, unapologetically. That's why we're here. Now, if you are facing a workplace dilemma, such as a performance improvement plan, or you're not able to secure your promotion and raise that you have worked for and you have deserved, basically, if these people are playing in your face, we are here to help. Go to trillmba.com/coaching to schedule a one-time one-on-one call to workshop your specific dilemma with me. Or schedule a consult to get more information about the consulting packages that I do offer on a longer term basis. As always, you can reach out to us with your listener letters and your questions at trillmba.com. Until next time, guys, focus on your best possible outcome. Ask for help when you need it. Please, please, please ask for help. And as always, keep it trill. I'll see y'all next week.
Make a